Welcome back, sports fans. We're going to do it again. Half-baked sports. We got to do what we got to do. Grown men talking. Real time.
Yeah, there.
That's a good one, Kendall. All right, so next topic we're going to cover, and we're going to do this a little bit better. That way there's not any chaos here. A little cross-talk and over-talk and BS talk.
Throwing the bones.
All right. Yeah, throwing down the gauntlet. All right, so we're going to start off. I'm going to bring up this next topic. Week 10 upset. Basically, I know that for a fact, looking at our pick'ems, the best person got 6 right.
Yes.
Just putting it out there.
I'm sorry.
That was the best.
I said that wrong.
Wait.
Yes,
no, it
6
wasn't
people
you.
got
No, it wasn't
one
you.
person got 6 right.
It was his
Everybody
brother.
else got 5 and 4 and 2.
But anyway.
Bloodline. No.
All right. So, definitely an upset weekend. We're going to go ahead and start over here with Mr. Kendall. I've got 4 teams down here that I wrote down that were my biggest upsets that were
Let's
unexpected.
start with San Francisco.
And San Francisco's your team. I definitely think that qualifies, although barely. And I'll comment on that at the end.
San Francisco.
Was it an upset?
All right.
Well, yeah. Do you consider that an upset? Seattle at San Fran.
For me, it was an upset.
It was an upset. Okay.
Seattle held their own. Russell Wilson and company, they did what they had to do to keep the squad going. Russell Wilson has his backing. He has people behind him that's going to push and go above and beyond what I saw. That was a very close game, gentlemen. I only saw parts of it because I was in and out and about. But at the same point in time, they held their composure very well, and they did good what they had to do. San Francisco, on the other hand, hey, look, every big team has to fall sometimes. Hey, they fell to Seattle. I mean, that's what I saw.
But it took
overtime.
over 5 quarters. And the thing is that what I saw, from what I could see as well, that team pushed Seattle. San Francisco pushed Seattle further, because a lot of people right now will say that, San Francisco hasn't played anybody. Well, yeah, they have.
Yes, they
and
have.
they do have a great defense. Mm-hmm. That team took Seattle to their limits. And I mean, as far as I'm concerned, both of those teams played their own personal individual Super Bowl that game.
So you're saying San Francisco played somebody? Who?
Oh, we've already covered that last time. You remember?
Because Tampa.
I was saying
we're not going backwards. We talking about
people were saying that. San Francisco never played anybody.
What I'm saying is San Francisco played nobody. They finally got with a team, and they lost just like New England. Finally got to a team and lost to the Baltimore Ravens.
Like Dallas.
It's just like Dallas.
Yeah.
So all these teams that were filled up on bad teams, when they finally got to a good team, they fell like they should have, because they're used to the bad teams. And so with the San Francisco and the 49ers game, San Francisco and the Seattle Seahawks game, I said Seattle was going to win because San Francisco, Kyle Shanahan's offense has not been tested since the Super Bowl, when they lost 28-3. I mean, when they had the halftime lead 28-3 to my New England Patriots. But that's neither here nor there. So
obviously.
So with that being said, when they were tested,
see how you slid that in there, right?
When they were tested, when that defense was finally tested against a mobile quarterback who had multiple options and multiple reads and they fell. It is, first of all, Seattle turned the ball over 2 times to San Francisco. All San Francisco had to do was get a field goal. A field goal. Yeah. So that means Garoppolo on that offense couldn't even get to the position to get a field goal.
Oh, no. They got him in the position for the field goal. He just missed it.
Hey, you know what? It is what it is. That's what happens when you get a person on a practice.
John, your turn. Pipe in.
You know what? I'm gonna say plain date. The last undefeated team went against their rival, who was 7-1. 72? 72. And the 72 team came out. They prevailed against them. Real simple, real talk. Mistakes were made on both sides, but at the end of the day, the better quarterback won the game. Period. Not the better defense. The better quarterback. San Francisco defense is still number 1 right now, but the quarterback play, Garoppolo got outplayed. When Wilson needed to make it happen, he made it happen. When Garoppolo needed to make it happen, he didn't. That's the difference in that game, and that's why San Francisco lost.
How is it the number 1 defense?
How are they not the number 1 defense?
Because all their games have been less of a touchdown, maybe less.
It doesn't matter.
You're
You're 8-0.
San
How are you
Francisco?
not the
No.
Arizona game? Arizona game was close. It was a
It
field
don't
goal.
matter how close it is.
Seattle
Hey,
was
Chuck,
a field goal.
if you want me to, okay, the last few games on their schedule, yes, were all close, but they were all top tier teams. So Arizona, who's been playing better, that was a close game, and it's also a division rival.
Okay.
Carolina, top defense, close game, right? Washington, that was a blowout. That was a blowout. Rams, that was a blowout.
If I can have a minute to retort,
And-
I will say this.
Let's take a look at the team over here, San Francisco. The points against, and this was what, up to week 8 or week 9? Only 102 points. That's the fewest in the league.
Okay, but
Fewest
if I
allowed
have a minute to
in the
retort,
league behind the
answer that
Patriots.
question.
Fewest
The thing
allowed
is-
in the
Okay,
league.
no,
This game,
New
behind the
England,
Patriots.
New England's got the, but it's close.
this game, it took more than a allotted time. So therefore, if you took it from quarter 1 to quarter 4, that was an evenly matched game. There was nothing that either team could outdo because they put it on the field.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, it was just
Right, the defense finally got tested
defense
by a good
versus
team.
defense
Just like
versus
New
defense
England-
versus defense.
Just like New England's team, just like New England's defense was finally tested by a good team.
All right,
Yeah, well, we
And
got
John, any final commentary on this game?
You know what? I'm sitting here thinking I should say something, but I don't want to get in an argument with my cousin Chuck.
Oh, wow.
All right, then I'm good. Then I'm going to end. I'm going to end this. I'm going to end this game with this comment. We all know, and we've all said, never take a last place team lightly, and you never underestimate a divisional opponent.
Thank you.
And this definitely wasn't the latter. This was the former, where this is a hard-faced divisional opponent. Pete Carroll is a defensive coach. He had them ready and prepared for this game.
And it was a close game.
It was a close game. It wasn't
And
a
it
blowout.
almost took 6 quarters.
Right? It
Almost.
almost.
I don't think they get
So,
six teams, baby.
so now, next one that we're going to discuss is the Buffalo Cleveland. Do you guys agree that this was an upset? Obviously, Cleveland got it, but it was a
Never
close
saw that
one.
coming.
You go.
Go ahead,
You
Kim.
have to have this
Never
one.
saw that one coming.
You have to.
Oh, my goodness, man.
You have to.
Well, Buffalo, I mean, they've done extraordinary this season.
Their defense
so
has
far.
definitely been stout.
I don't know about the word extraordinary.
They had some kinks. I'm stuttering on that one. They had some kinks they couldn't get worked out for that game, obviously. I mean, but
Well, the fact that it was close and there was a little bit of back and forth.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I do want to point out is that Cleveland did come out with a lead, and Buffalo almost came back.
yeah.
And
I remember that.
but yeah, it was one of those things where I think Buffalo got hit in the mouth. They weren't prepared for it, and they had to struggle to get back.
I think there was a lot involved as far as some of the play calling.
True.
Because again, the clock management that I saw when I was watching that game, I'm like, okay, you guys have an opportunity here to call timeouts. When it was 4, and I know times, so it was 4 minutes 32 seconds, and Buffalo had the ball. It was 4:32, and these guys absolutely had the time to call timeouts to move the ball down. But they were doing the dink and dunk again. And I'm like, okay, so what makes you think just because that's Cleveland? I mean, everybody has a name. Everybody has a title.
Yeah.
But that team, you do not go light against because they haven't won anything. You know what I mean? You go in there and you kick them. You put your foot on the throat and keep pressing down and then turn it.
Yeah.
But that team was sitting at 4 minutes and 32 seconds that decided, well, I think we could probably come back and do this. We could push it down the field a little bit more and then kick a field goal and call it a game.
Yeah.
No, don't think. You know what I mean? They don't pay you for that. You know what I mean? They don't pay you enough for that.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's they do pay you to think.
No. They don't pay them to think. They pay them to lead and pay them to coach and train.
All right, Chuck, what are your thoughts on the Buffalo Cleveland?
Yeah, I was upset because Buffalo should have won.
That was everything.
That's as far as he gonna go with it.
Short, sweet, to the point.
Yeah.
John, any last
Give
bit comments?
I'll be honest with you. I'm with my cousin. Buffalo should have won this game easy.
Yeah, should have.
Easy. They should have won this
And
game.
they had
But
3 opportunities.
the one
Oh, yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
3.
the one thing that we always miss this week proved that any given Sunday, somebody gonna rise up and take it.
And the one
Pride, whatever you want to call it.
The one difference, though, between these two games, though, is that San Francisco is at home, so they were expected to protect home.
Yeah.
Home field advantage is a thing.
And they did. 4 quarters. If you
No,
ended
they-
that game right there.
Oh,
Well,
3
yeah.
quarters
But Buffalo-
and maybe 5 minutes.
Buffalo was at the Browns,
Ah,
and so that may have been a little bit of
I'm
a factor.
sorry. Like, you got Freddie Kitchens, who's not doing a well of a job. You got all these name talents. We're talking about from the wide receiver to the tight end.
You go there for both sides.
Hey man,
for Buffalo.
Destiny's Child broke up. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, if Destiny's Child broke up, then teams
That's
with
a valid point.
divas on it can break up.
It's just
You know what I mean?
it's
I'm
too much
sorry.
talent, and then that team has
Exactly.
The
Destiny's
team,
Child
the
had
team,
talent.
the team,
Broke
All
up.
right. Well,
It's 2 to 5.
and we've all look. We
Like,
covered that preseason. We covered that in week 4. Look, we know that Cleveland has some great
talent.
offensive talent, right? Odell Beckham, you can't take him lightly. If he's open, he's a threat. Jarvis Landry, right? Definitely another one.
How many yards
Nick
these guys
Chubb.
got?
Yo, what's the
Nick
run?
Chubb.
How many
I
yards
mean,
do they have?
Kareem Hunt.
I honestly,
Okay,
yeah.
so-
Kareem Hunt running the ball.
I'm
the
just-
joke with the toilet.
I mean, change the
tight-
jersey.
the tight end.
Put those guys in
The
Dallas.
offensive
So
line.
anyway,
Those guys in
yes.
Dallas.
Reason why
Well,
they should be-
actually,
Those guys in
a
Dallas.
lot of the other sport commentators have been calling out that offensive line since the beginning, to where they obviously did not do anything to solidify that offensive line.
Well, they gave
Now,
away the center. The right
Oh,
before
So
the-
you just proved their point. So that has been an issue. They've pointed out the fact that he has been under pressure, but even with that, he hasn't been nearly under the pressure that we should expect to see with a porous offensive line.
Yeah.
And now, granted, because of the center being out, I think that has had some effect on the running game, but it hasn't been a consistent effect on the running game. Take a look at Nick Chubb. Yeah, he's had a couple of bad games, but he had some games where he was just
Right.
flying.
To my point is this: that you can't sit there and say the offensive line is bad. What it is he's holding the ball he's holding on
and
too long.
we all agreed on that.
When you drop back, you have the most 5 seconds. He has it for 10.
Actually, if you got it for 5 or longer, it's a
you
sack.
got, you got 3
it's a sack.
seconds.
You got
As
3.
a quarterback.
I'm sorry, for more than 3 seconds, you get a sack.
And that's
He
all
has
that's
it to
you.
the point.
That's the,
He has it to the point.
Why do you
where
think
he's
they
able
call
to
no,
it
run
three?
out
Why do you think they
and
call
run
it 3
back
steps?
and run off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 1,
So yeah, exactly.
3. That's all
Yeah.
you got.
For the
Yeah.
pass protection, they've been effective.
Right.
For the running game, it's been spotty. So yeah, when you take a look at Cleveland, I think a part of it is coaching or play calling. It's got to be one or the other, or both.
Or both.
Because
Y'all make the comment about for the pass perspective is solid, but then he getting sacked.
well,
Because he
it's
holds
because he
onto
holds
the
it too
ball.
long.
Well,
He's
no,
dropping. He's
it's
running
not-
back.
No.
He's running
This
back.
is
Like when you see
circa-
Baker make when you
It's
see him
probably
make a
either
decision,
way, and
he's
it
like,
starts with the quarterback.
Hey.
Look,
Yeah, but
Like,
this
like
is
he's-
circa.
when he feels pressure coming here, he sees goals. He's gone. He's not sitting there analyzing the field.
But
like
what I'm saying,
I see too many
what I
plays.
was saying,
Let him complete
I'm
the
saying
process. Yeah.
there's many times where Odell's been open. There's been many times where what's his name, Landry's been open, and he misses them because he's panicking back
and
there.
3 seconds
Okay.
to 5 seconds.
Okay, but this is circa
Both.
the Houston Texans with
The, oth-
David
well,
Carr.
the other thing that I've
Same
seen,
complaint. Exact same complaint.
the one thing that I have seen, and I think it's a good thing to mention, and even some of the commentators on ESPN have pointed this out. He tries
They're
to force.
horrible, by the way.
Yeah,
Got it.
but he does, and when you watch the games closely, especially on the second time you watch them, you see it. They're trying to feed the ball to Landry. They're trying to feed the ball to Odell. And then when they try to mix in the running game, it's predictable, which is why they're getting the stops. So Freddie Kitchens or whoever the offensive coordinator is, it's being too predictable. So that is part of the problem because everybody knows you call up a play, you have your progressions, which includes receiver 1, receiver 2, a third option, and maybe a check down with a running back.
Well,
they are not designing their plays this way.
Let's say it this way, and this is something I saw on my news feed. I didn't want to believe it, but they said that Seattle knew Garoppolo's audibles before he even called the plays. Okay. When he called the audible, he knew what was going on.
Well, some things can be predictable. So
No, I'm saying no. It's not predictable. They
So
said
somehow they
knew-
got him?
Somehow they knew his audibles. This is what was said.
and that's kind of odd because
Now, I
aren't
didn't
those-
say anything. I wasn't gonna mention it, but the reason I mentioned it was because we talked about a couple of different things. When you start seeing people do certain things, you start figuring it out.
Yeah.
So when somebody said, "Oh, they knew the audible beforehand," my first thought was, "Why come they didn't figure it out?" Because it's not like he got a great set of audibles that it's like 15, 16 plays. His audibles are literally like 8 or 9 tops.
True, but
So when you hear something on the media,
but they're supposed to change those up every game.
Well,
No, they're supposed to change the way he calls them.
No, they're supposed to change the audibles themselves.
I'll say this.
Doesn't matter how you call it. It depends on what the audible is and how they.
Well,
label it.
my whole
Go
thought
ahead.
about it was, I'm just saying, how do you say when you hear somebody say, oh, well, they knew he was gonna call before he called it, or as soon as he called, they knew what to do, and the game was still close.
Well,
Okay, well, I will
James?
go with that, but my whole opinion is, and this is given to me because I didn't even recognize it, but the knowledge given to me by the late, great Sam Dodson was, if you ever watched the Dallas Cowboys, that first season they had, I, as a Steeler fan, ran home to watch this team play. And you know why? Because that was the most exciting team. That was the best team I ever seen since the Greatest Show on Turf. So I ran home to watch the Cowboys play. Steeler fan. Just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Right? But the thing is that he was the only person to look at me and say, here's why the Cowboys are going to suck. And I'm like, wait, you? He said, if you notice, the one thing is, Dak Prescott, that first year, played the whole game, went in with a plan, like what we have sitting in front of us. He said, here's why they suck. Watch the second year. And I'm like, well, did everybody figure him out? He's like, no. He started calling audibles.
Okay.
That's what made the Cowboys fall, or made him as a quarterback fall, because everybody figured out what he was doing on offense. That's a given. So now he walks up, oh, they figured this out. I'm going to audible. No. We know what that is too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they shut that down.
so it's predictability. is what
yeah,
you're saying.
he was very predictable.
Okay.
And so have a lot of teams now. Because you can say what you want, but if you move certain players into certain places, watch the tight end, watch the what they call wing back, and watch the wide receiver. They make moves and they move in certain places.
Well, I'm gonna say this here.
Given.
I'm gonna say this here. In the words of probably my the third best on my all time best, Omaha.
yeah.
Omaha.
And I loved his reasoning. They kept saying, so what does that mean with Omaha? He was like, well, it could be a
didn't mean
run.
shit.
Then it
It
could
didn't
be a
mean
pass.
shit.
But then
Omaha
it could be play
didn't mean
action.
nothing.
But
He
then
just
again,
threw
you have to
that word
understand,
out.
it could be
All
a
right.
fake punt. You know what I mean? That was
All
his
right.
explanation
And,
for Omaha. I loved it. I was like, wow.
The next one that we had to discuss, Tennessee, Kansas City. Definitely an upset in Kansas City. Mahomes' first game back. Now, is this I'm going to leave it to this kind of a question. Is this an indication that KC is vulnerable?
Yes.
Yes.
They done.
Done.
They've been vulnerable.
That's a given. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to talk? Go ahead. Say it, man. I mean, is that a giveaway? Is that a tip of the cards?
It's
Because it is Tennessee. Now, granted, Tennessee isn't a slouch, but
Go
they're
ahead.
not
Yeah.
the best either.
Go ahead. Well, I mean,
They're not the Texans. They're not the Jaguars. They're not anybody.
They've had some ups and downs this season. Okay, Mahomes is back now. All right, Mahomes is great. Let's make some
Still
shit
binged up, but
Mahomes
Hey.
is not the great.
No. I'm just saying that's the hype.
Mahomes the great. Yeah.
Mahomes the great.
I got it.
Okay, let's
Like
see
Kobe,
what happens.
the Mamba.
Okay,
I want you to tackle this one.
Kobe.
he's still working out his kinks being back. Okay, doesn't mean they're vulnerable. Hey, you might have some slots in there that some teams may be able to
Have the
have
more you keep talking, I'm gonna jump across
have
the
some
table.
write
and
ups
smack you
on
in
them.
the throat.
We'll just see what happens. It's too soon
Well,
for me to say.
Okay.
well,
He ain't been back long
it
enough.
was his first
Or
game
left.
back.
He hasn't been back long.
I'm okay with that kind of analogy. Let's see what he does in this bounce back game. But to me, I don't know. I
I'll
think
go
that
after Josh on this one.
My
Hold on, James.
Well,
No,
before-
James, stop.
It's too
Josh,
much.
keep talking.
It's supposed to be good.
I think he's still banged up. He's definitely not healthy. I think that's playing a part. Also, even with the better defensive play, they're finding ways of getting to him, and I think that part of that, because of his injury, he's holding on to the ball too long.
Yeah.
So I think there's a compound there. But even with that, even with all the things that he may have been doing wrong and the nagging injury, that was a close game.
Yeah.
And I just think that what happened is that
Stop, James.
Tennessee
Okay. Stop.
edged him out. I think that's what it was.
Yeah,
Tennessee
and-
got good enough
stop,
to edge him
James.
out.
It also seems to me that
Go
I
ahead.
unfortunately watched the Alabama LSU game.
Oh, yeah.
And so I watched the kid
We talking about somebody else, he
No, I
gonna
mean the
bring in
kid
somebody
that
else.
came out. He played the game fully. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
I watched the quarterback from Kansas City, Mahomes, and I was like, you know what? He did what he had to do. He got in, but when he walked off, it was almost mirror image. You know what I mean? So he took the team, and the team actually kind of took him. to places that, you know what I mean? They didn't quit on each other. And that was the one thing I saw, and I was like, man, you know, it was the luck of the draw at the end of that game. Because it could have been anybody's game. Let's be honest. There were 4 penalties in that game that had everybody like, okay, wait, what? You know what I mean? I was sitting there like, okay. So but it wasn't even
given. So you basically saying Mahomes is a college quarterback.
No, I never said that.
Well,
I would never say that. No, I was saying that. I watched a game and I saw injuries, and then I was like, this guy just came back from an injury, but he put his team on his shoulders, and his entire team was like, you know, let's just go. And he did what he had to do. He carried him, and that was as far as he could take him. But it was just one bad. Well, actually, it was one penalty at the end.
Well, and let's not forget, it's not Mariota in Tennessee. It's Tannehill, and he's got something to prove. He's trying to keep that job.
Somebody trying to get a job.
On that note, I'm going to go to John on this one, and we'll let Chuck finish it up.
And I'm going to be honest with everybody. Let you know, I picked Kansas City to win this game. Yeah. The reason I picked Kansas City to win this game because Mahomes was coming back. He got his whole offense. Linemen, running backs, wide receivers, everybody.
Yeah, Hill was back, Watkins was back.
Lose
everybody
to Tennessee.
Hell, I was there.
As a backup quarterback who just joined the team, you're missing your key tight end, but you got the other 2 out there, and the defense is suspect. And Mahomes, you can't outplay them. You can't outdo anything. Where's the Mahomes magic? Can I use a curse word on this one?
Absolutely.
Fuck Kansas City. Now, my cousin Chuck said in our last segment, don't sleep on Tennessee.
You did
and I sat here and argued with him. With him. I apologize, by the way.
Yeah.
Fuck Tennessee. That's what I said. He proved me wrong.
Yeah.
I'm with him on this one. I'm sorry, Kansas City is not what they were. Mahomes is a flash in the pan. Get your mind right. Get your team right. Otherwise, you're going to get beat every night.
Chuck, you want to finish this up real quick?
So the reason why I said Tennessee was going to beat Kansas City is because name one thing Kansas City has done that was different from last year.
Nothing.
Name one
They
single
still
thing.
throw look up passes.
So outside. So in order for Mahomes to get the ball down the field, he has to what? Get outside the pocket. So if all I gotta do is just have a defender,
Keep him in the pocket.
keep him not so to keep him in the pocket. I'm not saying he's bad in the
containment,
pocket.
but yeah.
What I'm saying is if all I know is he's gonna come out sometime and that's where he makes his play, why can't I just have my DBs down the back, waiting for him? That's all I'm saying. They're too predictable. I know he's a big shot person. Even on Madden, what is he known for? Big shots down the field.
Yeah.
But
he's not known.
If he don't have Tyreek Hill, he don't make them catches.
He's got Tyreek and Watson, so there's a double threat.
Even
Watson don't make them catches. Tyreek Hill is the only one that makes them catches.
Even without that, keep him to a check down. He's not checking down. He's looking down the field. That's why I said Mahomes is predictable. Mahomes is a younger, mobile, and more athletic Joe Flacco. Because that's all Joe Flacco had was downfield. He refused to check down. He had Ray Rice, who would not check down. He had the tight end at the time. I forget.
Olsen.
No, it was
Olsen. He had Olsen come from Houston.
It started for before Owens was there. It was started with a P. Pitta. Yeah, Pitta there. Pitta was a good.
Wow. Yeah.
He was a good tight end. Guess what?
Wow.
Why you hear him? He wasn't checking down. But guess what? You heard of Torrey Smith.
Yep.
Either he called it or it was an interception.
There you go. Stevie Smith, Mike Wallace. You heard all those burners, man.
Yep.
But you didn't hear the other 2 that checked down.
And that's definitely a reason why he's no longer the head
Exactly.
QB in Denver. So keep that in mind.
So with that being said, Mahomes is.
But all the wide receivers are.
That's what Mahomes is. If he had incorporated a check down, then Kansas City was going to win that. But even Andy Reid bought into Mahomes. That's why he has to play calling going down the field.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking over here and I'm going to make that adjustment that way. Just so happens somebody was there too.
Well, no, I'm saying that
because Tennessee, you have to my variable.
I'm saying KC can make the adjustments here. It's
an Andy Reid team. He's not going to make the adjustment.
No, obviously with McNabb,
obviously with McNabb and all that stuff. The only reason I'm saying is because you have to look at the coach and the quarterback. Andy Reid is training him to be like Andy Reid is training Mahomes to be like him. Andy Reid does not make those game time adjustments.
And
Bill Belichick got rid of though. Wait. My variable is who. Bill Belichick's
I
product.
knew he was gonna get to a Patriot.
But you saw who he got rid of to have that kid play.
Logan Ryan, Belichick.
I knew we were gonna get to a Patriot reference before it was over.
30 seconds.
The reason why I'm saying this
knew
is
it.
because they were like, okay, well, shoot, I'm gonna let you beat up on me in the first half, but second half I'm gonna get you.
Now, who
That's all
did
I'm
Andy
saying.
Reid get rid of to have Mahomes play? What was his name? Remember him?
Alex Smith
Alex Smith,
Aw.
right?
And where's Alex now?
And,
with a broken leg.
With the broken leg, and
I mean, he's at home, but
see,
20%.
he is at, you know.
But
you know what I'm
I
saying?
think Alex Smith beat the Patriots though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
see
he
what I'm
did.
saying? So what
Every
does that
time.
tell you? He
Every
knew
time.
that kid was better than Alex Smith. Man.
And
No, he didn't know Patrick Mahomes was better than Alex Smith.
Oh, he knew.
Patrick.
Oh, I'm
he
so
knew.
sorry.
He
Patrick
knew.
Mahomes is not.
It was
better than
telling
that.
him to keep that guy in
Josh,
that game.
let's call this one down here, and with the last one, and we'll close it out with this. The last upset of the weekend: Atlanta at New Orleans.
Oh
Man.
my Jesus!
This was definitely one that shocked the whole NFL. I guarantee you, we probably lost people on a lot of pick'ems and maybe even some survivor pools. I don't know.
I literally just almost went into
Go.
some kind of Trump. How
I'm
the
just
fuck do
glad
you lose
people
to
weren't
Atlanta
because
and you're New Orleans in New Orleans? Somebody
it's his
please
turn.
explain
All
that
right,
to
all
me.
It's his turn.
Kendall.
Go.
I just want to say, first and foremost, I'm glad people weren't jumping out of buildings over this. Okay, that's one thing.
No,
Depends on
somebody
how
should have.
That was a big upset. Even
Depends on how much they bet.
Everyone picked New Orleans.
It jumped
But,
out of Bourbon Street into a vat of bourbon.
Atlanta,
That's the only thing that
Atlanta's
saved
on
me
a fight comeback right now.
No, they're not. That was pride.
But
All right,
pulling
hey,
that stunt.
That was
I
all
mean,
pride.
All right, hold up.
New Orleans is not out of that yet. I mean, it's just not going to go out like that.
Oh no,
That
I'm not
was
saying they're folding, but I mean this is definitely significant.
Yeah.
So what is the one? Let's just keep it simple. What's the one takeaway from this loss that you think is significant? We'll go with that.
We'll go, because I'm ready. Bro.
Time clock management?
That's what you
Time
got.
clock
Okay.
management.
Well, that's because Atlanta was successful doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What you got?
My take would be, simply put, horrible offensive coaching. And no one will ever agree with me with that. But I challenge you.
Are you saying on the side of New
The
Orleans?
Saints.
Okay.
New Orleans Saints.
I get that.
That was the worst offensive coaching I think I have seen in probably maybe 3 years
All right.
from that team, because it was rushed, it was pushed, and it was also predicated on maybe the tight end making blocks. Go back and look, and I challenge you to go to 12 minutes in the third quarter. Go back to that point and hit play.
From the
I
man
challenge
who
you.
said he didn't see the game.
No, I did.
You didn't say that. You didn't say
No, I
that.
didn't say it. I
John,
didn't see
what,
that
what's
game.
the one takeaway you got?
Actually, I
from it?
wanted to hear what Chuck had to say and you had to say, and I wanted to end it on.
You want to end it? All
I
right.
want
That's fine.
Chuck?
So, it simply is that the offense obviously was better with Teddy Bridgewater. Simply because Drew Brees is predictable. I know what he's going to do. I know what he's capable of doing. Obviously, Atlanta knows that. That's why they perform stellar. Now, Teddy Bridgewater, on the other hand, I know he can run. I know he can still run. And he has proven that on all the games that he's won and even the games that he lost as a starter. So, Teddy Bridgewater was more unpredictable and more better of a chance to win with the offense in New Orleans than Breeze is, because Breeze, I can predict Breeze. I know what he's gonna do. Like with the couple of sacks he had, they knew he was gonna come back in the pocket. That's why he rolled in at the last. I forgot his name. Deion Jones rolled in at the last possible second.
Yeah.
He knew Breeze was coming back up. He's predictable. Teddy Bridgewater, on the other hand, he ain't coming back in that pocket. He gone.
Yeah.
All right. And the only thing I can say is, one thing I noticed is that Atlanta did the same thing that Belichick did to Kansas City. Time of possession. We often underestimate. This is where clock time management, and I think you kind of alluded to this too. When you can control that line of scrimmage and methodically eat clock and move down the field, that gives you such a significant advantage.
True.
Great quarterbacks like even New England. Teams have successfully implemented this strategy against New England. You keep Brady off the field or limit his time of play, you have a chance. And I think that's what they try to do. And they managed to do it.
Yeah, but New Orleans in that fourth quarter was basically like an 18-wheeler in the left lane. It pisses you off because they were just going that goddamn slow and blocking everything to make everything progress.
They had no.
That
deep,
was the coaching.
They have no deep
That
threat.
really pissed me off. I'm looking at the offense and I'm like, dude, there's no way you guys are going away from Kamara and letting him just block. No, he should be out in the flat. He should be in the second level of that defense. Why are you not throwing it to him?
And if you watch the game, there were a couple of missed checkdowns that he could have hit, missed passes. I mean, there are definite things that I saw. So I mean,
but he was trying to do. See,
too much.
Too
much is the word.
But see, that's what I was saying.
Doing too much.
But see, that's what I was saying. Drew Brees is predictable. So if he's behind in the game, what is he going to do? He's trying to get down the field. Yeah. Teddy Bridgewater trying to get down the field. He's like, hey, I need to put us in the best possible position because I know my time here is going to come down. So I need to do the best. So when a person's in that mindset, you need to put him in. Right. Not the guy that knows he's going to be there.
Yeah. And on that note, John, let's close this out.
I was going to say something on what they talked about in this game, but they talked so long, I actually lost my train of thought. It's the reason why it's called Half-Baked Sports, people. And we're going to close it out with this one. Peace, be well, Half-Baked.
Go Thumper. It's your birthday.